What's up, guys? This is a little Q&A YouTube video. We did asked for some questions on Instagram. We got a bunch of questions sent in, and I've got a handful of those all compiled that I'm gonna answer for you the best that I can. Let's go with number one. We've got a couple questions about movie. So what movie or project were you working on? I was working on a action film. It's called Affinity, and I don't know when it's gonna be released yet. I do know that they are editing it right now, and there's one scene that we weren't able to film while I was there. It got rained out, and we have to redo it. We have to do it again. So I actually got a phone call not that long ago, maybe like a week ago. They're looking at in February or March, I'll be heading back to Thailand for 1 week for 1 day of shooting. I know that they're wanting to do it towards, wait a little while so they've got a good amount of the editing under their belt, because then if they're having to film, if we're needing to do that scene, and we can do pickup shots if there's anything else that they also needed to redo, or clips that they didn't get. So I imagine they'd probably be looking at it releasing maybe next fall, but don't quote me on that because I have no idea, and it is not my movie or my job to get it out. When will the movie, oh, there you go. I should have read ahead. When will the movie be released? I don't know, but when I do, I will share it. I know that they've got a lot of content, photos, behind the scenes stuff that they're going to be sending out for us, like as they get closer to when they're getting ready to start marketing it and talking about it, then I'll be able to start sharing some of those photos. And there are some very cool ones. So I'm excited about that. How do you stay so muscular and lean? I'm just gonna be honest with you because I'm always honest. I definitely try to maintain the muscle mass that I have, and I like to stay on the leaner side. And I do that definitely through diet, but through the style of training that we do with Naked. So everything, a lot of stuff that we do, especially when it comes down to the conditioning stuff, the metabolic conditioning workouts, we like to do it with an intensity and a format that is to work towards a more leaner frame year round. If you are familiar with CrossFit, a lot of people recognize like CrossFitters stay lean, like more lean year round than like a bodybuilder, right? They diet down for their show, and CrossFitters almost over time from being really consistent with their training and their diet, and focusing on all the pieces that they can control when it comes to their plan. If you stick to it and over time, your body starts to just function and work in a way where it becomes very efficient with using your calories. And for me, because I don't compete anymore and I don't train for competition anymore, I can't. It would be detrimental, really. It wouldn't help me. It would probably be bad for me. So for me to stay leaner and keep my muscle mass, it's definitely just prioritizing protein and making sure I get some high intensity interval type training. So I'm focusing a lot on all of my lifting, and then really high intensity interval training, whether that's through our Metcons, through Tabatas, or I like to add in a lot of just intervals on the runner or outside running. That is definitely a big helper. Just adding in those high intensity interval runs and some long runs too, that helps me maintain my body composition pretty well. And I mean, running, you can get fit fast. It just really sucks. Next one is, what is my favorite TV show? I don't have one favorite, but I'll name a couple so you'll kind of get an idea of what my vibe is. Peaky Blinders. I like Breaking Bad. Yellowstone. Reacher is a really great TV series right now. And Rabbit Hole, another great one. In a nutshell, I like mystery. I like, what are those called? I mean, definitely action films, but I like crime movies, action movies, and I do like dark shows like Breaking Bad. A lot of people don't like that show. I really enjoyed it. Favorite book right now, the Bible. I have a lot of books. My dad finds it very hilarious. I have new books show up to my house all the time, and he loves to say, "Are you gonna read this one?" I will, eventually, but they're books that I wanna have on hand. Yeah, just been reading the Bible. What made you stop competing in CrossFit, and do you miss it at all? I stopped competing in CrossFit because I had a severely herniated disc in my neck, and I had to have a cervical fusion. I had an ACDF bone graft infusion. That was back in March 31st of 2017, and I had spinal cord damage. So my grip strength is nowhere near what it used to be. And since then, it's there's just been difficulties and speed bumps and hurdles when it comes to trying to get back to a really good fighting weight, right? Like strength-wise, movement-wise. I get really locked up in my traps and my neck, and when that happens, I deal with a lot of nerve pain, and I have to just let it recover and relax. So I had a really big surgery, and that is why I don't compete anymore. And just to give a little bit of information, I guess, of what's happening right now. Since then, I've had a spinal injection. I've done PT because I have a new herniation in my neck. And now what I'm dealing with today, actually, I'm going to get a CT scan. Got to get a CT scan. My hardware has been bothering me. So behind my esophagus, there's a plate and 4 screws. And they did a bone graft. Well, when we did the last MRI to check what was going on, found out that the bone graft didn't heal all the way, so there's a cleft in it, and also I have a broken screw in my neck, and I have no idea how that could happen. And just this past, like through the summer and up till now is kind of the worst. I've noticed I've felt my hardware in my throat. It's bothered me a little bit, and it's kind of gotten worse. So I'm going to get a CT scan today, and we're just going to be hoping that maybe it's fine and maybe it's just me. But I'm really, really, really hoping I don't have to have surgery again to fix it, because it's a very long recovery, a very long road, and I had so much atrophy in my upper body after my spinal fusion. And due to just like little micro tears and tears in my labrums and things like that, I can't really do a lot of work with my upper body. I always start to I get fatigued really fast, I get really, really sore, I get really locked up, so I can't just hammer the weights to build up my shoulders and my arms and my traps again. So I really would hate to have to endure more atrophy, because, well, pretty self-explanatory, actually. Moving on. We will deal with that, come to it when we cross it, right? Deal with it when I cross it. What is your favorite workout song or playlist? I like country rock. I'll usually turn on a playlist I'll do like a Morgan Wallen playlist on Spotify, or Chris Stapleton, or also a great playlist on Spotify is you just search for Warren Zeiders. I think that's how you say it, Zeiders. Great playlist. How should someone approach training if there is no particular competition goals in mind? There has to be a goal in mind, unless you're the type of person that doesn't have to have one. You know I was always so surprised, and when I coached full time, and there would be your 5 a.m.ers, like the group at 5 a.m., moms, dads, that would come every single day. And then they'd go straight to work and be at work all day, and they're a parent, they've got kids, and they got to do all the running. And I was coaching full time, and then I was exercising, and that was my job. But I remember, man, parents that have a workout regimen are a different breed. For me personally, I have to have a goal. I have to have something in mind. It is very hard for me to be consistent and get in the gym every day and make that a priority when I don't have something or a reason why I'm doing it. I have to have something that I am, my reason why, or something I'm working towards, for me to enjoy making time in the gym be a priority in my schedule. And I think that surprises a lot of people. And the only way I can really describe it for me, because when so much of my life has been about training, has been about fitness and all these things and competition, but when that is your life and that is your job, and you're doing it 6 days a week for years on end, at a certain point, you're tired. And at a certain point when that's not your job anymore, you have a job somewhere else. So your time is filled with still stress, but now the stress might be about business, it might be about an app, it might be about, something else. And you have to manage that. And for some people, they manage their stress by going to the gym. They exercise, they like kind of go to the gym, they shut their mind off. That's their me time. The gym has never been like me time for me. Me time for me is working at the ranch. It's outside, it's doing manual labor, it's working the horse, you know, all active things, moving hay, working, driving the tractor, all that. I like to stay active, but I love to be outside. That's where I sort of get that mental health help that kind of keeps me feeling good and keeps me excited about just being active and staying fit. And then on top of that, I've been training with my sister in the mornings. And so for me, we together have some goals. And I think that also some of those goals that are hers, they're mine too, because I want to do it with her. Like that is enough motivation for me to get in the gym these days, is for me to be there to support her and do it with her. So neither one of us are, you know, trying to get back or get some strength back and get back in shape and feel good by ourselves. So that can definitely help as well. If you're like, I don't really have something I'm working towards, well, having a partner where you guys can discuss, you know, be really honest about how you're feeling and what you want to do and what you need to do, and then you sort of help each other out, you know, if you're not going to sign up for a competition or, I don't know, I was going to say a relay race, a race, a 5K, marathon. I've never done anything like that. Maybe I should. Next question. These ones you guys aren't probably gonna like my response because I don't really have great information for you, and I'm not proud of how this is going for myself currently. But all things considered, I'm just doing the best I can. What does a normal day of eating look like for you right now? And what are my current macros? And we'll just add this one too. What supplements do you take? Okay, when I stopped competing, and then had surgery and everything was changing, how much time I was in the gym, what I was doing. It took me a while to find a good, like, what is my maintenance? What is my calorie intake? What does it look like? Because I no longer am training as much. So it's been sort of this trial and error and just trying to find something that fits and works for me and also allows me to maintain a body composition that makes me feel good. And then you add things like my neck or being sick, traveling, being in Thailand. Being in Thailand for 2 months where I grocery shopped, but also you end up ordering food every meal. You know, so I came back from Thailand so ready to get home. Because when I was there, it was, you know, I ate, the food that I chose to eat is not how I eat here. I had pasta a lot. I ate what I knew that made me sat well, that wasn't gonna make me sick. The first month I was in Thailand, I lost a little bit of weight. That was not intentional at all. That was due to, when I was in Bali, some of you guys were like, oh, you went to Bali? We're not gonna tell that story, but I was in Bali, I got violently ill, violently sick when I was there. And so when I was in Thailand, it's almost as if my body was too hesitant to eat certain things, and I could smell, like certain smells would make me sort of nauseous and sick. So, but I did end up gaining that weight back because that second month I decided I was just gonna eat what I knew would sit well. So I had a lot of pasta. I craved pasta. I ate it almost every day. Not proud of that. Now, my current macros, I don't actually have a number for you. I have been doing more of like an intuitive eating, and I've been trying to incorporate more intermittent fasting. So adding in ice cold plunge therapy, working on doing intermittent fasting, but now I'm gonna change it to where I'm trying to get more protein as soon as I get up in the morning, within 30 minutes of waking up, but not carbohydrates and fats. So that is a work in progress. I tend to wake up and I'm so used to not eating much in the morning, and I now know that it's not aiding me, it's not helping me build back strength. So I am working on switching it. I had seen a video from, I think it was Gary Brecka, talked about his recommendation for women was a 30-30-30 rule. and I may get this a little bit wrong, so you guys can look it up if you want to figure it out. But it's within 30 minutes of waking up, have 30 grams of protein, and then do your 30 minutes of like steady state cardio or something like that. And I haven't found what I want to eat or how I want to consume that protein yet. I've been mostly just doing eggs or having a breakfast burrito because we always have them in the freezer because my mom makes them homemade. And now I'm saying it out loud and I'm gonna hold myself to this standard. 30-30-30 rule. Within 30 minutes of waking up, 30 grams of protein, and I think that that is what's gonna help me the most in continuing to add more good muscle mass on my body, especially if I have to have surgery. Okay, what supplements do you take? And I also will just say, I know that the whole diet question, I probably did not answer that or give you information that you're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's a work in progress for me right now. It's an ebb and flow. You know, fitness journeys are an ebb and flow, and I have discovered that through the years, and I'm just, I'm adjusting to the things that are outside of my control, like my neck, like being sick, all these things. All right, what supplements do you take? I take quite a few because I've been working with a functional medicine doctor, Elizabeth Yurth, for a while now, but for the most part, the things I'm taking is B12, vitamin D, D3, K2, iodine, omegas, and try to also get my minerals in, salts and things like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I will drink protein, but because I'm not eating as much throughout the day as I used to, I actually will just prefer to eat it and not drink it because I'm hungry. I'm a hungry girl. And I get hungry at night. Any diet advice for beginners? Some basics that everyone should just consider. And I know that I fall short of this all the time because my cravings overpower what I know I should do. But paying attention to things in your food, how is it processed? If you really are wanting to like dial in your nutrition, you just have to do it. You know, like you can't do it halfway. And I always remind myself when I'm in the process of like dialing in my nutrition or like really trying to like lean out or make some gains in some capacity in my training or my diet, is like, you have to do it. There is no like, how bad do you want it? And that's what goes through my head all the time. I would say prioritize your protein, good protein. I would be cutting out processed foods. And then if you have certain cravings like I do, like I love chips. You know, so for a while now, I've been really paying attention to things that I buy or that I eat and making sure it doesn't have bad seed oils in it. I think if you start there, you'll be well on your way to feeling good about your diet. And it's just prioritizing your protein, especially women, and cutting out, I say, seed oils, get rid of processed foods. Always try and pick the best option. And you have to be real with yourself. You have to be honest. And within that, just know that it's okay. Like if sometimes it can be hard to be willing to if you know you might be eating really bad, you know that maybe you drink too many Mountain Dews or you're having Snicker bars way too often. If we don't discuss it or we don't say it, it's almost like I don't want to talk about it. You feel a little bit a little shameful for how your diet is, especially if you're trying. All you do is talk to your friends about like wanting to get in shape and working on your diet. You just have to do it and know that it's okay. If your diet's trash, it's okay. Most people's diets are trash. We just fix it. Just start changing it. Start finding substitutes. If you have non-negotiables like treats or snacks or drinks or things that you're like, I just love it so much, but I know that I shouldn't have it all the time. Just accept the fact that you can have it, but let's limit how much you're having it. And then let's find something that can replace it for all that in between time, something that will satisfy you, will satisfy your craving, you know? And there are plenty of snacks or treats or foods or things out there that will surprise you, that it will satisfy you, especially when you cut out sugar or something you've been eating way too much of. You cut it out for a while and you start replacing it with something better. Soon you'll start to see that you won't crave the bad stuff anymore. You'll enjoy the good stuff. You no longer have that like deep craving, almost addiction to that food. It will leave, it will pass. But just so you know, I deal with it, everyone deals with it. It is an ebb and flow, and we're all just, trying to stay on that road of health and do the best that we can. And the last question for today, how are your parents? They're great. And the fam? Not the fam, the farm. My parents are fantastic. My mom did just have carpal tunnel surgery, and she's feeling way better. She gets her little brace off, I think, next week. And my dad's doing great. He does have to go in for surgery pretty soon, get his wrist fused. So arthritis, both wrists, and he's got to have it fused. He's had one done, he's got to have the other one done. So I am doing my best to show up, be available. I am my dad's ranch hand. I love being there to learn from him and to work with him. And really, it's just like, I want him to have help. I want to be there to make sure that I can help him get work done. And I really enjoy it. You know, a lot of people might be wondering like why I'm spending so much time on the ranch, or I'm doing so much, all my content lately has mostly been not exercise. That's because I was gone for 2 months and we did a bunch of filming before I left for Thailand, but I was gone way longer than I was supposed to be. So I was supposed to be back like 3 weeks sooner than I got home. So now that I'm home and I'm finally on the mend from being sick, we are gonna be doing more fitness content. But I love ranching. I love working outside. I love driving tractors. I love working with my hands. I love working with my dad. I'm the biggest daddy's girl. I always have been. And that's what I enjoy. And something that makes me like happy is I would rather be spending my time helping him, knowing, like it makes me feel good to know that I was there to help him, to give him a hand. You know, because he doesn't, it's him, it's just him. And when I was gone and when I'm out of town, it's just my dad, and there's a lot of work to be done. So that is what I'm doing. I love it. I love my family so much, and I just want to be of help. And the fun thing is when I get to hang out with my dad and we're up at the ranch and we're working, I'm learning a lot. And I like to learn difficult tasks because it makes me feel good and I enjoy learning new things. But even more than that, I can just be even more of a help to him, to other people. And I love the ranching lifestyle and the ranching world, and you know, grew up with horses and cows, and some of you might be wondering like, you know, what got you into it? I've always been into it, you know, and when I became really popular for people to follow me like on social, I was competing, I was CrossFitting, and that was my full-time job. You don't CrossFit, go to the CrossFit games and that not be your full-time job. So that's what you saw, that's what you primarily saw. And I didn't live at home, I lived in California, and a lot of things have changed, and I love my fitness. I love my team, the Naked team, and it is like the bread and butter of what I do, and health and fitness is the cornerstone of like my life in terms of if I've got that, then I know I can stay healthy and fit to do many other things. And I like to learn and play new sports. I'm not competing in CrossFit anymore, but I'm finding other things that I'm trying and I'm getting into that I can still do even with the injuries that I've had. So yeah, the farm is great. I am working on getting things set up to be selling beef for my dad, and that is coming. There's a lot of pieces to get put together, Shopify, website, all these things, but I am going to be selling. We've got 6 steers we're gonna be selling this year and having them processed in March. So if any of you are like, we want some beef, like if you're wanting some food security, and you wanna have your freezer at home full of really good, healthy beef, I will be posting about it as soon as my Shopify account's all set up, all of the prompts and everything to make sure delivery, address, everything, there won't be any hiccups. Then I will launch it and we'll get those cows sold. And I cannot wait to help any of you have some food security, because I'll tell you what, we always have our freezer full of beef, and it is really nice to know that we don't buy it at the store. We raise it and it goes in the freezer and it's there, and you can have, depending on how many people in your family, you don't have to buy beef for a whole year or more. Depends on how often you eat it during the week. So I do recommend it, whether you get it from me or you get it from someone else. I recommend filling your freezer with beef that you've bought from a producer and make that shift and get out of going to the grocery store, because you're gonna find way more producers now that are advocating for not putting the mRNA vaccine in their beef and not doing unnecessary vaccines for beef, or not doing any at all. You know, it's different depending on where they live, right? Raising cows in Utah in the high desert is different than raising cows on the East Coast or in Florida. You deal with different problems, and you have different roadblocks that you have to, you know, figure out and manage. But I could not recommend it enough. Know your producer. I've got, me and AJ have our app coming out, and we're launching it in March. And that is going to be a platform called From the Farm, where it will connect you, consumers, to a producer. And the goal is to get people to shake the hand that feeds them. Basically have producers servicing more of in their region, in their area, so they can save money because they're not shipping. Shipping costs are so expensive. And our main goal is to keep all of the producers that we currently have left in the US working. Because when they're gone, we are in trouble. And I don't mean for this video to all of a sudden become like stressful, but I want you, if you are taking the time to watch this, I want you to hear me when I say this. It is an issue. So if you care about it, if you care about being self-sufficient or having like food sovereignty and food security for your family, just know that that is something that I would recommend you do. And if you would like to use our service, we're going to be launching it in spring, and it's going to be awesome, and I'll obviously post about it so you'll see it. And yeah, and if you're a producer yourself, or you know somebody, or your family, and you're like, man, we want to get on the app, please email me, because that is what we're doing. We are onboarding producers starting in probably January. We'll be onboarding producers. So we have all that, you know, food, beef, and plus some. We're not just going to be a platform for people selling beef. This is a platform for ranching and farming. It's for people that are selling goods, and it's from small or family farms. It's not, no one will be on this platform that is part of the Big Four. If you don't know what that is, we'll save that for a different video, but the Big Four, they basically rule the market of beef. And it's, we are working on getting our food system back to more of a free market, and possibility cutting out middlemen for our producers so they can maintain more income. And if they can have consistent income from just knowing the consumers directly, right? There's no middleman. You know you can get food because you know where to go pick it up. You have that connection, that relationship with the producer, and the more we buy direct from producers, the more they can continue to produce, and we can have that healthier system and get out of buying things at the grocery store that, to be honest, we have no idea what kind of is in there. So now I'm off my rant, and yeah, that's it for now. We're gonna get through Christmas, and I say get through because there are like 14 nieces and nephews that I have, and Christmas is the most favorite holiday of my family. We just love to get together, and we love to bake and do all the things. So get through Christmas. In January, I will be going to SHOT Show with Staccato. So if those of you that are wondering if I'm still shooting guns, well, I currently have not been shooting my guns, but yes, I am. And I am still doing stuff with Staccato. That's so very exciting. I'll be down at SHOT Show. Either February or March, I'll be going to Thailand for 1 week to shoot that last scene. And other than that, I don't have anything planned. Anyways, things are good, even with all things considered. We'll figure it out as we go. And we'll definitely I'll let you guys know what's happening with my fusion. I'm not sure, honestly, I'm not sure if they'll tell me soon what the scan says, or if I'm gonna have to wait until it's sent to my surgeon. But he's in Texas, so I guess I will be going out to Texas probably sooner than later to have an appointment. But fingers crossed that I don't have to have surgery again, but if I do, I'll figure it out. That's all I can do. So, thanks for watching, and we'll probably do another one of these at some point. It's only the second time I've done just a talking video. So I will save you from me. I hope you guys have a great day, and yeah, thanks for watching. And we'll let you know, we'll keep you updated on my movie, and we'll keep you updated on my spine. Bye.